There's two things that I really, really love. Obviously, everybody knows I'm passionate and I adore, I live and breathe and dream comics. But another huge passion of mine that goes, I think, nicely hand in hand with comics because it adds to the atmosphere, it adds to the reading experience, is music. I'm a huge, huge music nerd. I was a manager of a music shop for years, and I also worked in a music shop when I was in between jobs as well. I just love everything to do with music, all genres from jazz to hip hop to rock to indie, any country, Japanese, Korean, English, American, you name it. I just adore music. Um, so when I find a manga, this one here, that is just about the experience of loving music of in particular with this it's found on me for me for space and for expense because most of my money is fueled into comics. It's cheaper for me to buy compact discs because vinyl are really expensive. I would love to go that route, but if I or routes as the Americans say, why do you say that? I'd love to go that route, but I just know if I did, I would be completely bankrupt if I had that tied up with comics. Whereas CDs are a lot cheaper to get. Vinyl can cost up to 40 or £50 for an album. But this is about the love and the passion of music. The artwork, it's a new manga called Ryoichiro Kazuki. It's published by Titan Manga. I put their name in big bold letters on the thumbnail because I would love to be sponsored by Titan to review more manga for them. It won't happen. I'm not big enough. I don't get sponsorship from anyone. Nobody loves me. I don't get Kofi. I don't. I've had one free gift, and I'm not here to beg. But I just say I'd look two companies I'd love to be sponsored by is Titan Manga because I think or Titan themselves can do fantastic graphic novels. Um, and I'd also love to be sponsored by 2000 AD. But again, both never going to happen, and I've made my peace with that. I'm just saying. You never know. But it won't happen. Will it? No, it won't. But Titan Manga, when it first started a few years back, they were okay. They've always been smaller than a normal manga. So you've got the Tankaban, which is like the Shonen Jump ones, which like the DC compact size. But then you have this size, which is like in between, which is slightly bigger, which is the Viz signature. So these are smaller, as you can see. But when they first came out, they're quite slim, and the paper quality wasn't that good, and the translation wasn't that good. But now, I think what I like about Titan is the same when they brought out the Savage Soda Conan black and white magazine. They learn from mistakes as they're going on, and the aim to improve was a company like Marvel, who are much bigger, just think, oh, I don't care. We don't care if it's shit. People are buying it. We're not bothered about the quality contents of it. But Titan really do have a love for quality, and it shows with the more recent manga titles that got out. There's one that I'm going to get eventually. Is a soccer one called Ayoochi, which is meant to be really, really good, and it looks great. It's a bigger size. They've also done a big, big size one called Yan, which I did a review of. I can't be bothered putting a link on it, but it's in my manga recommendations videos what I've done. I highly recommend you look at that. And now with the regular range, like the standard Tangaban, the smallish Tangaban size they do, it's about the same size as the Kana manga ones, who did Billy Bats, what I did a video of just a few days ago. But the paper quality is a lot better, and they're really diversifying in what manga cards they're using, what stories they're using. When they first started, it was very Shonen Jump type, where it's like teenagers fighting against bigger bosses as each chapter goes on, or the isekai where they go to where they basically end up in a new world and they have to like become a hero in this world. Whereas now they're touching on things like slice of life with the football one, what I mentioned, assassins with Yan, and now they've got Record Journey. This is pure slice of life, and it starts with this one where this girl is basically just sorting through. Her granddad's recently passed away, and she's sorting through stuff. She's arranged for this woman who's roughly the same age as her to come and collect her granddad's vinyl because she's no interest in it, and he's just got so much stuff. And she said, "Oh, this is fantastic." And they find a record which is just a 7 inch in a plain sleeve, a bit of writing on, not got a clue what it is. They put it on. It's like this Eastern music, and it's triggering memories in this the girl who's selling the vinyl in her mind. Whatever, this brings back something, and the name as well. It's got May on it, and that's what her granddad had kind of like affectionately named her as well. And it turns out the music is from this other East Asian country, where he went with his wife, who was basically like her grandma. Basically, was like looked like her, was very much like her in temperament and looks, and so that's where they brought that record back from, where they were inspired, where that music inspired them, because his wife adored that style of music. But during all this storytelling, we see this record shop, which is like the linchpin for the whole series. So, but this one, this girl with the dark hair works with her granddad, with her, I think it's either a dad or a granddad. Yeah, with her granddad. It seems to be a trope in this series where it's focusing on granddads and granddaughters. And it kind of builds up this kind of like easy friendship. And they both want to know the origins of this single and why her granddad had this single of Eastern music, why her name was on it. And I don't want to say too much, but it's a really sweet vignette. And it sets the scene for the whole tone of the series, the whole tone of the book. I thought it was going to be one long story, but it's not. Like I said, it's almost like a feel-good Twilight Zone, where the girl who runs the record shop, she's like the linchpin, where all these stories surround the idea of the record journey, hence the title. It didn't even register for me that that's what it was about. So it can jump from country to country, from time, from say the 60s to the 50s, to the future, to now, back to this record shop, and it's just so good. It's really, really. I wouldn't even say it's a cozy read, but it's a good slice of life read. So that vignette is really moving. It's all about family and not realizing how deeply entwined you are with your grandparents and how different tastes, different sounds can release this floodgates of memories, what kind of give you comforts while you're basically struggling with the loss of somebody who obviously was dearly loved. Uh, and all these people who were impacted by her grandparents that she didn't know. So from that, it jumps to like this Eastern European country. I think it must be, yeah, it's the 60s. And it's very much spy family kind of Eastern European way. It could be East Berlin or Russia. Um, and basically, anything from the West is seen as contraband, seen as illicit and illegal, and you could be imprisoned, thrown in a gulag kind of thing. And that includes music. And this girl just has this passion for music, and she hears that there's somebody selling this illegal music. And so this story develops onto that. The art, by the way, is just really, really beautiful. And so she encounters this guy who's like smuggling all this music in, and he's got a shop which is just like your basic shop selling all like government approved music of the country, and then he's got like this hidden doorway that leads to this hidden like cellar where he has all his illicit Western contraband, which is music magazines and vinyl, etc. And so that story progresses from there, and it's kind of like where he passes on the torch of the defying the government and following your heart and bringing this love of music to other people onto this young girl. And then from there, that it's the transition very clever because it's looking at the Stags, who basically like kind of like the Beatles kind of thing. And from there, it does a short story focusing on the Stags, where they go to like this. It looks like either India or Thailand, somewhere like that. And it opens with this page of this young girl with her homemade guitar. She's just passionate about music. And so the stags end up in this place. It's like Indonesia, kind of. It's like it doesn't say what country it is, but it could be Indonesia or India or anywhere like that. And so they're basically just in between journeys. They just stop off at this place. The dialogue as well, I must say, whoever translates has done a fantastic job because they've got the British dialect really good as well, without it being cliche. Even better than I think it is an English translator who's done this, because I think if an American one had done it, they'd have fallen into the tropes what they use on, say, like a Marvel comic like Excalibur, where if somebody's English, it's all "Call love a duck" and "Here, governor" and "Arthur Sixpence" and all like very bad Dick Van Dyke kind of bad English accents. Whereas this is very very naturalistic. But so the band, one of the member of the band hears her playing on a makeshift guitar, and she's playing a stag song. And that's all I'll say for that story because, again, it's really good. And it's a tip of a hat to that famous Beatles scene where they climbed up, got to this building and they were playing Come Together and it got shut down by the police. I mean, obviously, that doesn't happen, but it's a similar scenario. And it shows how the love of music just brings this local citizen together with the band. They both had the prejudices. She was prejudiced against them because she had a chip on her shoulder, thinking that they thought that they were superior to her because she wasn't from, the cultured West. And they also had, some of the band members had a chip on their shoulder as well. One of them was really quite kind of sweet. And again, really, really satisfying vignettes, which moves on to another one, which is two-parter, Steel Waves Over the Water, because it is mentioned in one of the other stories so that there is a pirate radio station. Obviously, in the 60s, pirate radio was all the rage. So if music was banned in different countries, they could tune on the radio and hear the music. Because if the police were able to track them down, they just turned the boat on and got into another location, so the police could never catch them. And so it focuses on this pirate radio, and again the link from transition from the Stags to 60s music, and they stop off at this. Again, I don't know if it's an Eastern European place, but it's a European place. So basically, to fuel up, to get supplies, and to get an order of records what they placed. And the guy who the record store they're going to, he's really annoyed them because then, am I now your secretary? Because he's also having to deal with all the fan mail that the fans of the radio station are sending to them. And in the story as well, they bump into this girl who's basically tried to get to England to go to university, and she misses a boat. So, oh, come on, hop on, it's our fault. They basically knock her over and say, it's our fault for making miss your boats. And so she basically, this storyline now is basically her encounter with the pirate radio station. It goes into why they are who they are, why they have this passion for being on this pirate radio station. And she has her eyes open to that music is more than she's just been raised on polka music. So she realizes that there is more to music, and this is like just like this magical awakening when she's on this pirate radio station boat. And it moves on to where they go to England. And again, don't say anymore, but again, really, really, really satisfied. But it's just, and they have some wonderful quiet moments as well, which the art really emphasizes. But yeah, it has a really sweet wrap up, and it leaves it open where it could move on to another story featuring those characters. And then the final story is one called Ashley's Diner, and it's very clever because initially you really think, oh, it's about this band getting together. This is the band, and they meet at this diner. And you know what? I don't want to ruin the surprise because this really does have a really good payoff. And they meet in this diner. There's this girl who works in the diner, and the female member of the band is really kind of like resentful towards her, but the guys just like really friendly with her. They like her and just like sharing their passion for music. And that's why I'm going to stop it because this one has a great, really wonderful twist in it. And that's all I'll say on that because it's nice to experience it for yourself. And there's a really fun afterword as well, where the mangaka basically describes his passion for why he hates this series and his love for music and for manga. It's just great. The whole packaging from, like I said, back to the front, the artwork, it's just really sweet. It's really nice. The dialogue is great. The flow of the story is good, and I love how it's like an anthology series. Like I said, this record shop being like the linchpin. So the next volume could be something completely different, but it all centers on the love for vinyl, the love for music. I adored it. It's for a new manga by a new mangaka. It's an easy 9 out of 10, and I think it again. I I like getting manga what I think could appeal to somebody who's not really into manga, and this is perfect because, like I said, you don't even need to buy the other volumes, but I think you'll want to. Um, yeah, it's very satisfying, especially if you're a music head as well. If you like music as well, and you like the whole, and you get passionate about it. I mean, I'll just show you 1 second. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a music geek. I'm not saying I'm a music geek, but I don't buy many figures. But I do like I do like these Super 7 ones. I think I'm going to be getting the Clash one as well of Joe Strummer. So yeah, I like my music. I like my music. So yeah, it this gets a very high recommendation. It's very reasonably priced. It's £9.99 UK, $12.99 US, $16.99 Canadian, and that's it. Yeah. So hope you enjoy that. I will be doing some more videos as well today. So bye.